What's up, guys? In this video, we're going to do law number 30 of Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. Let's get into it. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We get you on the grind and improve your mind. In this video, we want to talk about law number 30 of Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. So, let's get right into it. Law number 30 is make your accomplishments seem effortless. Your actions must seem natural and executed with ease. All the toil and practice that go into them, and also all the clever tricks must be concealed. When you act effortlessly, as if you could do much more. Avoid the temptation of revealing how hard you work. It only raises questions. Teach no one your tricks, or they will be used against you. So it's kind of like a magician never reveals his secrets kind of thing. So it's like in the real world when you're a performer and, you go on stage and you perform an act or, something on Broadway or a magic trick or something. You can't just tell the audience, oh yeah, I did this because of this. No, you just do the act effortlessly, no problem. And the audience is in wow. And then you leave, they get a round of applause, you leave, right? That same thing can be applied to different things in your life. A man, especially, we got to work hard at hustle what we do. And, behind the scenes, we're working hard. And then when we go in to show our achievements, it's just like, oh, yeah, I did that, no problem. You don't have to go into detail like, oh, yeah, I did this, and it was crazy, and it was hard. You don't have to do all that, because then it's just like, it starts to lower the value of all the hard work you've done. And people, you're just giving them too much. You need to have people's minds fascinated with the things that you do in your life. And, you work hard behind the scenes, definitely do what you got to do, but you don't have to go flaunt it to everyone. Oh, yeah, I did this, and yeah, I'm better than you because I worked hard. You don't need to do all that. You're just going to create enemies that way and make people jealous. It's best to let people try to figure you out on your own and your accomplishments, and you don't want to seem like you're bragging as well. Like, oh, yeah, I did this, but what did you accomplish? You're just going to piss people off that way.
Yeah.
So it's very important for stuff like that.
Yeah, so when you brought up the magic, a good thing that they bring up in the book is they talk about Houdini. Houdini, if you don't know, is a very famous magician, and so like he's very famous for doing a lot of the escape tricks where he'd be locked in a cage and underwater and stuff, and he's got to get himself out, stuff like that. And there is another magician, Corpichelli, I think he's European, I think he's Italian, and he thinks that Houdini is a fraud because Houdini doesn't reveal anything that he does. And everyone is just amazed by the things that he's able to do. And so he believes that Houdini uses specific gadgets to escape. Pretty much creates these things for him specifically to use for his tricks to be able to escape unscathed. And so that magician calls out Houdini and tells him, like, I'm going to challenge you to a handcuffing challenge to see who can get out the fastest. And so Houdini hears all these claims and everything and is annoyed and is mad because he believes that this person is trying to taint his reputation by trying to say that he uses these things to get himself out. So he accepts the challenge, and so there's like two different handcuffs. One of them has like a code that you have to punch in for the handcuffs to unlock, and he gives them to the challenger and took it and tried doing the code and he was able to open it. So he was cool with that, and so he wanted to take those. And when it came to where each of them had to handcuff the other person, Houdini didn't want to handcuff him because they're having this big feud, so he's pissed off, and they had a huge tussle on the stage, and this is in front of people. You gotta remember that all this is happening in front of people, and so he's having this huge tussle on stage. Houdini eventually is like, fine, I'll put it on him. So he puts it on him. Now this guy knows the code that Houdini just handcuffed him, and that guy knows the code to the handcuffs, so he thinks he's got the shit in the bag. But then when they get into the handcuff challenge and they go for it, he puts in the code and it doesn't work, and he doesn't understand why. And eventually Houdini gets out of his cuffs, and then he's still stuck in his cuffs, and he has to ask to be let out of his cuffs. And it's because Houdini's a freaking genius, he was able to, in the tussle, change the code on the cuffs to a different code. And funny enough, he put fraud on there because he knew that that person was actually the one that couldn't actually get out of the cuffs and needed help. So, and wanted to ensure that they were going to win to taint his reputation. So he changed the code in the cuffs to make sure that he couldn't get out, to teach him a lesson. And he did it so effortlessly and so cleverly because no one noticed that he changed it, not even the person, and was able to win and actually got out of his cuffs with no issue because he doesn't reveal what he does. He just does things effortlessly, doesn't explain, and he just goes out about his business.
Yeah, so very smart guy. So, great example of how this could be used in your life. No matter how hard you work, you don't want to go and flaunt and, about how, brag, like, oh yeah, I did this because I did all these things. You know, you want to make it seem like, oh yeah, you know, you want to seem like a master genius when you accomplish certain things. Like, yeah, of course you're gonna put work into it, but you want to at least seem like you know what you're doing. It's in the bag. It's gonna amaze people. It's gonna have them wonder. It's a very powerful tool, and it's good and helpful to the mind.
Exactly. You want when you say that you're good at something, you want to make sure that you practice that specific thing to the point where you can do it in your sleep, so that when you are in front of people and you have to do this specific thing, or you have to do this task, you're not going to choke and falter in stressful situations. You want to make sure that the things that you do, you can do in a way where nothing can bother you, and you know all the different outcomes that can come from any specific situation, depending upon whatever it is specifically that you're really good at, that you're using for this video. Another thing is like Andrew was saying before, don't flaunt it. Don't flaunt that you do all these things. Just be like, yeah, I know I do that. And don't explain why. Because especially when you're in a job situation and you're in an interview, when you want to boost yourself up, you don't want to over flaunt. You want to give them something where they could be like, oh, okay, he can do this, he can do that, that's cool, but don't overextend. You wanna just give them enough to make them keep wanting to ask more questions. You want to give them just a little bit and then let them figure it out more on after that.
Yeah, guys, so that's law number 30. So if you guys like this kind of content and you want more, make sure you leave a comment below. Let us know your thoughts on this law. You could also hit the like button on the video. Let us know that you care. And hit the subscribe button as well. You can also donate to our Cash App, link in the description. The funds go towards the stuff for this channel. And with that said, we're going to see you guys in the next video.